Hello, everyone. This is James with Unity of Greenville. Thank you for being with me today. Happy to be sharing with you. This is our metaphysics class. We're going to be doing a deeper dive on the subject that we spoke about on Sunday, which is the nuts and bolts of prosperous living. So we want to help put together all of the little pieces that go together to create this idea of prosperity so that we can understand it, so that we can work with it, and so that we can use these principles, these ideas, these divine ideas to change our lives. So I appreciate you joining with me. If you like what you hear, then I invite you to subscribe to our YouTube and channels and like us, love us, share what you hear, and that helps us, and it helps us to reach out to more people. Because as you like, as you share it, then others will see, will be able to see it as well. You know, Catherine Ponder, the great Unity prosperity teacher, said, "The word prosper means to flourish, succeed, thrive, to experience favorable results. You are prosperous to the degree that you are experiencing peace, health, and plenty in your world." So, the first thing I want to say is that prosperity is not necessarily a get rich quick scheme. It is not just about money, because your true prosperity has to do with your health, with peace of mind, with love in your heart, with having wonderful relationships with others, as well as having all the money that you need and all the money that you can spend in your life. So we're for all those things, and we believe that all of those things can come to us as we learn how to align ourselves with the divine and with that divine flow, because we live in a universe that is giving and receiving. It's the law of circulation. And so, in order to receive, you have to be giving. That is what completes the circle. It's the giving and the receiving. And knowing how to give, knowing how to receive, then you will open the gates, the floodgates, to be able to receive in your life. And that's one of the most important things, you know, to be a cheerful, happy, hilarious giver. You know, when you learn and you realize that there is plenty, we live in an abundant universe, there's more fruit that will fall to the ground and never be eaten than there is that ultimately gets harvested. So I want you to think about that. There's always more than enough in the universe. This limited lack thinking, it has been programmed into us by our culture, by the people around us, and by those who sometimes maybe even want to use and manipulate us. So that's something to think about. So today we're going to lay a foundation. And then what we're going to do after we lay the foundation is over the next few weeks on Sundays and Wednesday nights, we're going to continue to build on that foundation, some of the ideas and thoughts and techniques and methodologies that you can use that will help you, that will lift you up and help you to become more prosperous in your life. But it's critical that we understand how powerful our beliefs are and what impact they have on our lives. The power of a belief. You know that Mahatma Gandhi, one man, one individual, was able to bring down the whole British Empire. We're talking about England, we're talking about Britain when they were the power, the empire that was ruling the world. But when Gandhi stood up to them and he told them, he said, you know, I'm going to stand here and I'm going to fast. I'm not going to eat, you know, and until that you stop what you're doing. You cannot come into India. You cannot take over um, or continue to rule over the Indian people. And he stood there, one man, and in his determination, and of course he was joined by others as well. But he was able to withstand through nonviolent means, and I think that's so powerful. But what a lot of people don't know is that Gandhi actually studied New Thought. He studied New Thought principles about prosperity and how to create and these sorts of things. And so he kind of knew, he understood what he was doing. And he was able to withstand the whole British Empire, you know, through his beliefs and through his works and his deeds. So beliefs are very, very powerful. And of course, we know that most of our beliefs come to us as children when we're very vulnerable. You know, we have these little minds of mush, you know, with not much in there when we start out. And then we started hearing little phrases and thoughts and ideas and teachings and beliefs that other people have. And as little children, we don't know the difference, and we just start taking all these things in. And so many of us have ended up with beliefs that really don't belong to us. They're really somebody else's belief, but we took them on. So therefore, we have to own them now, and then we have to, if they're not working for us, we have to change them. Because let me tell you, a person who has an embedded belief, whether it be a religious belief, an emotional belief, a political belief, they're very difficult to to change. And that's because beliefs can become very powerful. So what you want to do is you want to turn the power of your belief over into something that is positive and good, over into the ideas of prosperity and joy and peacefulness. And by doing that, you are putting, you're moving in the direction of your prosperity and your self-empowerment. What we experience in life is not because of what is happening around us, but because of what is happening inside of us. That's very important to remember. See, it's easy to look at the world and to accuse and to blame and to complain. But what I want to do is I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to accuse anybody. I don't want to blame anybody. I want to take responsibility for my own life, for my own thoughts, for my own feelings, and my own beliefs. And this is how you garner your power and you're able to focus on prosperity. Because it's all inside of us. It's what we think and feel about things. Faulty beliefs lead to faulty thinking. Faulty thinking creates faulty or negative feelings, and that becomes a low vibration and the attraction of unwanted circumstances, and this becomes cyclical, right? So I must be responsible for my own thoughts and my own feelings. I'm not a victim in here, okay? I'm learning how to have a consciousness of prosperity, and choosing that consciousness is what I want to do. And that's very powerful. Choosing the positive rather than the negative. But sometimes positive thinking alone that may not change your life because you need a sustained and focused positive thinking. I want you to think about this. It has to be sustained, it has to be focused, it has to be ongoing. And once you make it to where it is something that you are constantly putting out, then you'll start to constantly get back what it is that you need, want, and desire in your life. So it is feeling combined with attention and intention. Attention plus intention, desire and expectation that causes what is attracted into your life. So what is your mind? What is your intention focused upon? What is your intention? What do you intend to create in your life? What is the desires that you have, your expectations? All of these things combined together create your reality and my reality. That's very powerful. You know, Eric Butterworth said that words of truth or affirmations do not become true because you affirm them. You affirm them because they are true. You synchronize your consciousness with the reality of the truth. So when we talk about truth in this sense, we're talking about truth with a capital T. Okay, we're talking about truth that never changes. See, there's truth with a capital T, which is eternal or infinite or universal truth. And then there is the small t truth, which is our personal relative truth. You know, it's what's true for me in the moment. It's what's true for me in my culture, in my life. It may not be ultimate truth, but it is relative truth. So that's important to make that distinction. There are four major factors that really account for what happens in our life. Number one, lacking the truth about who we really are. Who are you, you say? Well, you are a divine being, a co-creator with divinity. That's who you are. Number two, lacking knowledge about the principles or the laws that govern the universe and everything in it. You don't know what you don't know. And if you don't know the truth, then the truth will not bring freedom and liberty and prosperity into your life. Number three, unawareness of how and why the words we use, the thoughts we think, the beliefs we hold, and the emotions we feel manifest in our life experience. Many people are just totally unaware that they are connected to all the circumstances in their life. Now, doesn't mean you don't create everything in the world. You are a co-creator. You are a one-up. There's 7 billion people in the world, and we're all co-creating together through our thoughts and our beliefs and our feelings. And so when we see chaos and war and destruction on the outside, it's because there's chaos, war, and destruction on the inside of us collectively. We're creating these things. So you can have an impact on your own personal life in a positive way by changing your belief system and becoming aware of your thoughts, becoming aware of your feelings and your beliefs, and beginning to understand what they are so that you can change them if you want to, if you need to. Number four, we focus on what others are doing, comparing ourselves to others, or living our life in the past or the future. Many people do that. We're comparing ourselves to others, and really, comparison is a trick of the ego, because the ego is always saying that you're never going to be good enough, you're not good enough, and so you have to let that go, and you quit comparing yourself to other people, because it just doesn't. It's not helpful, and it doesn't work. So the past is the past. It is what it is. It happened the way it happened. There's not a lot you can do about the past other than to change how you feel about it and how you think about it. How can you think about the past in a more positive way? How can you turn a twist on it? Now, I know it's difficult because many of us, we've had some horrendous things happen in our past. And this is not a blaming of the victim. That's not what we're trying to do here. What we're trying to say is that we have to take ownership of whatever has happened to us and realize that now I have the power. I have the power to make a new choice, to make a new decision, to move in a new direction. And once I claim that empowerment, then I can begin to do that and not live in the past. I have to detach from the past to some degree so that I can live today, so that I can live in the now. Because where's all the power at? It's right here, right now. And then there's some folks that live in the future. It's always way far in the future. They're thinking about, well, one of these days, I'm going to do this. I'm going to say that. I'm going to go here. I'm going to become this. And the thing of it is, they really don't believe it because their mind is just floating around out there in the future somewhere. So what you want to do is to bring all your energies, bring mind out of the past and bring it out of the future and bring it to here and now. Because now is where the power is, right? Our life is a projection of the recordings of the vibrations in our subconscious mind. So we need to change those inner recordings. Everything that you've ever felt, heard, seen, or experienced has been recorded in your subconscious. So think about that. Everything. It's all in there. There are times when I go through the day and I will hear something, a song, and all of a sudden it will take me back to a time in my life when I was living, when that song was being played. And I'll have an experience that I hadn't had in a long time. There's sometimes when I sit down to play my guitar and a song will come to me that I had not played for 20 or 30 years. It'll just come to me and I'll just play it. Well, how does that happen? Well, it's because it's all there. It's all in there. So what I want to do is to change the way I access the subconscious. And I want to learn how to whenever these things come up, how can I put a positive spin on it? How can I change, the nature of these recordings so that instead of hearing those negative voices in my head and feeling those negative feelings, and I just stop and I feel it, I think it, I let it move through me, and then I choose a new belief. That's so powerful. Constantly choose, what do you want now? Right? What do you want now? Albert Einstein says the world as we've created it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. To change your mind, you change your life. Change your mind, you change your life. When we wake up from the fog, we see a world that once seemed random that's now making sense. Okay? And you may feel like sometimes that things happen randomly. It's like, wow, who can figure this out? Well, there's some people that I still haven't figured out. There's some things that have happened that I still don't understand. But now I don't worry about that. I don't worry about what I can't fix, what I can't do, where I can't go. And I focus on what I can do, what I can fix, and what I can change. And that's where you want to be, because that's the power of now. So it's important to constantly be aware of how you feel in every moment, in any given moment. How do you feel right now? Do you have a feeling of wholeness and well-being? If not, I invite you to take a breath. A couple of breaths. And then become aware of how you feel and see if you do not feel clearer. Your mind clears up, the fog goes away, and you be more present. And it's just that simple sometimes. It's just a deep breath can help you by oxygenating your brain and your body, can open you up. It's very powerful. I believe in checking in with myself throughout the day, every day. How are you feeling right now, James? What's going on for you? And as I check in with myself, then I learn how to keep raising my vibration back to something good, something positive. If you're watching and feeding on a lot of uh, uh, negative stuff on television or people or on social media, well, garbage in, garbage will come out. So what you want to do is you don't want to pay so much attention to that. You want to let people do what they do, detach from it, and focus more on things that feed you, that uplift you, that strengthen you, that empower you. That's how I like to use television. That's how I like to use um, social media. I love Facebook. I go on Facebook and there's so many encouraging things that are happening. Even when people go through very traumatic situations, what I'm seeing is a lot of people are saying, hey, this has happened to me, but I choose to use it in a positive way. And I choose to believe that I can learn something from this and gain wisdom and knowledge and strength from this and be able to go and live a higher, better quality of life. And that's a beautiful thing. And I like to be around people that are self-empowered because they inspire themselves. They're constantly building themselves up, encouraging themselves. And they have quotes for you, and sometimes they'll just make up quotes on the spot, This is what I'm grateful for right now. And it's a good thing to do. It's a good thing to do. When you're waiting in line at the grocery store, or you're waiting in line at the railroad track, or at a stoplight, what's going through your mind? How are you feeling? Are you anxious? Are you nervous? Are you upset about something? Get in touch with that. And bless the people around you. A lot of times, when I'm sitting at the stoplight, I just send blessings. I just say, oh, bless you. I bless you. I see you healthy, prosperous, and well. I see you whole. I see you at peace. You know what that does? That not only helps me, but it helps them too. I believe in that. So I want to give you 4 things, homework to do, that can help you if you do these 4 things. Now, try it for a week and see how it goes. And then do it for another week and see how that goes. And then do it for another week and see how that goes until it becomes second nature. Because that's how you reprogram your subconscious. You start putting new habits, new thoughts, new feelings, new structures in there, and your subconscious says, okay, this is what we have in here, and this is how we're going to be now. So the first thing is to give up your excuses. Give up excuses. And we all had a whole file of excuses that we can use. Everybody does. I know I do. I have excuses that I could use. I could pull them out, and you'd say, James, well, I didn't know that about you. I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. Well, but see, it doesn't do me any good, does it? Because I don't need your pity. I need your encouragement. And I need your faith. I need your belief and your confidence. That's what we need. We need that for each other. So drop the excuses. Number 2, give up blaming. Why, it's their fault. It's her fault. It's his fault. Okay. Maybe it was. Right? I'm not saying it's not their fault. But what good does it do to constantly blame, people for the silly, dumb things that they've done, right? Including don't blame yourself. You have to, now if you did something to hurt somebody, offended somebody, you want to make amends, you want to apologize, make it right. and then go on and don't linger there in that blame and accusation. Number 3, give up complaining. I was raised in a family where it was an art form. We could worry the wallpaper off the wall, seriously. And so complaining, what does it get you? Maybe somebody will pat you on the back and go, there, you poor soul, you poor sucker. I feel sorry for you. Is that what you want? Or do you want to drop the complaining and drop the excuses, drop the blaming, and just say, hey, I'm responsible for what I think. I'm responsible for my actions. I'm responsible for my prosperity, right? Number 4, identify your negative self-talk. What do you say to yourself when no one else is listening? What kind of phrases go through your mind? What kind of feelings arise from your heart? What is it you're thinking about? And this is part of that we said before, checking in with yourself throughout the day. You might even want to set a timer. There's something called the Insight Timer where you can set it every hour, on the hour, and just when the bell goes off, you say, what am I thinking? Identify. What is the phrase that's going through my mind now? And then what you can do is you can take that phrase apart and you can change it and create a positive affirmation out of it. Instead of I can't do this, you say, well, I can do it if I need to do it, right? You just turn it around in some way. And you become aware of the loathing feelings about yourself, unworthy feelings about yourself, because we all have it. Self-critical, voices in our heads. Where did those come from? Well, they came from other people, but we've allowed them into our lives, and now we have to change them and create new patterns, new ways of thinking, new thoughts. So, the 4 things that you want to do is give up excuses, blaming, complaining, and number 4, negative self-talk. Try that for a week. Try it again for another week. See what happens. All right. Thank you so much. My prayer for you today is that you experience all the love, the peace, the joy, the prosperity, the happy relationships, that you can stand. So take a deep breath. Say to yourself, I receive it now. I am self-empowered and I'm ready to move forward. And so it is. Thanks for joining with me today. If you've enjoyed this program and you want to give to our Unity community, I invite you to go to our website, unitychurchofgreenville.org. You can make a donation there, and I thank you in advance. Remember, it's more blessed to give and receive. So it's the idea of giving and receiving that is so important. So you have a great rest of the week. I'll be back Thursday morning for some more practical spirituality and prayer. And then we'll see you on the weekend. So have a great rest of the evening. Sleep in peace.